Live from Fargo and serving you on TV, online, and on the go. This is Valley News Live 10 at 10.
A man is in jail tonight for robbery, accused of flashing a gun at a South Fargo truck stop. Good evening, everyone. Thanks so much for joining us tonight. Andrea has the night off. Police say this man, 38-year-old Jeremiah Jackson, showed a gun to Flying J employees late this afternoon, saying, "Give me some pizza." The workers were able to call 911, and Jackson, who was staying at the nearby Motel 6, was arrested, but without a gun. Police used dogs to search the area and are still trying to find the weapon. They're getting a search warrant to search his room. Look for updates on this story on valleynewslive.com. Minnesota sex offenders could have a more difficult time finding a place to live. Some lawmakers are pushing for harsher rules, saying they don't want offenders living just anywhere. Valley News Team's crime and safety reporter Nicole Johnson joins us with more. Nicole?
Mike, right now the law in Minnesota says level 3 sex offenders have to live a certain distance from schools. Some lawmakers want to add parks and other places where children frequent. The idea is to give cities more control of making rules that fit the community's wishes. Representative Paul Marquardt supports it. Level 3 sex offenders, by definition, are more likely to reoffend. Marquardt says level 3 sex offenders are the worst of the worst, and cities should have more say. Others say it wouldn't impact safety at all. The director of Minnesota Department of Corrections says the idea is well-intended, but it would interfere with good supervision, adding that what makes a safe community is when offenders have stable housing and support systems. I also talked with Moorhead Police, who told me that knowing where sex offenders live makes the most difference in safety. Obviously, it would cut down on the number of sex offenders who are homeless. Mike.
All right, thanks, Nicole. The bill was just introduced to Minnesota lawmakers, so if you want to contact your legislator, there is still time. A drug that can be 100 times more potent than heroin, it does exist, and law enforcement agents across the valley suspect it could be responsible for some of the overdoses in our communities. It's called fentanyl, and it's used to treat chronic pain in patients that are dealing with serious illnesses like cancer. Sanford Health's chief medical officer tells us how dangerous it is to use it outside of a hospital setting.
If people are using it in a non-prescribed fashion, they can ingest too much very easily, and then what that does is it shuts off the drive by the brain to keep breathing. People stop breathing and it can lead to death.
Fargo police are waiting for toxicology test results to confirm if drugs seized recently in our area contained fentanyl. It was a big weekend for heroin and other narcotics-related crime, especially in the Northern Valley. In Grand Forks, police are investigating a burglary at the new Inspire Pharmacy. Cash and narcotics were stolen. It just opened Friday and works to provide prescriptions for folks who can't afford it. Over in Warren, Minnesota, 5 people were arrested in cases that all involve heroin, meth, or guns. Guillermo Ramirez was arrested in Argyle for illegal possession of a firearm. Anna Ramirez faces drug charges. In Warren, Jeremiah Linder and Caitlin Mock were both charged with having a controlled substance. Also in Warren, John Vondel Jr. faces drug and weapon charges. We all know about the smell that spreads over the FM area every spring. Well, the work continues in West Fargo to get rid of that smell. City leaders are talking about removing sludge to help clean the bottoms of the lagoons. Valley News Team's Giovanna Simic explains.
I don't think any of us should keep making excuses. If there is something we can do to correct the problem within reason, of course, we need to look into it.
The city of West Fargo has come up with an idea that will hopefully fix the stink that hits the city every spring.
We want to take a look at some pre-treatment options so we were able to aerate and maybe do some chemical treatment, and maybe that might reduce some of the smell and odor and reduce our treatment time.
The plan is in its early stages, and Public Works is gathering more information about the process as well as the cost, something that is the city's main concern.
Well, it's a lot of money, obviously. You know, even the cheapest one is $5 million. We spent money trying to correct that with different chemicals and things, and unfortunately, they don't always work because we're in colder country here.
The plan calls for lagoon dredging, something that is recommended to be done every 20 years.
I am concerned about the dredging process. I'm concerned if that's something we need to do.
Public Works can't guarantee that this plan would help get rid of the smell, but they will do everything they can to fix it. In West Fargo, Giovanna Simic, Valley News Live.
West Fargo leaders do add that Fargo and Moorhead also have sewage lagoons that contribute to the stink. A sick dog has prompted the closure of the Circle of Friends Humane Society in Grand Forks for the next 2 weeks. Shelter staff say that a stray dog has parvo, which is a similar virus to the stomach flu in humans. The shelter is on voluntary quarantine as a precaution, and for the next 2 weeks, staff will work the cleaning shelter, and dogs are not to be walked or played with. The shelter is looking for the community's help with fostering some of the dogs that may come to the rescue while they're closed. The shelter can't accept any dogs or allow any to go out until the quarantine is lifted. A Dilworth woman is receiving a top award in Minnesota for her service to people with disabilities. She works for CCRI and was chosen out of 99,000 caregivers in the state. Valley News Team's Krista Boehm explains how her work with one particular young woman earned her this award and has transformed both of their lifestyles for the better.
I know she helps me keep my calories in line.
Written on the fridge and brought to the dinner table. It's this way for every meal where Lisa Anderson lives, all to help her reach her goal.
My major goal for not just be healthy, but also to fit into bikini.
A renewed health habit for the 21-year-old who lost 30 pounds since moving into the CCRI home.
You can see the difference.
With Amanda Noyes' help along the way.
I get to be more active than I was before.
Eats totally different now, and she knows what she can, or like what she should and shouldn't eat.
But Amanda helps with far more than just Lisa's diet. They both lace up their tennis shoes.
Yeah, I needed new ones.
Head outside and run together.
Started with walking.
And only picked up speed. After running a couple 5Ks, Lisa plans to run the Fargo Marathon 10K this year.
It's gonna be interesting, because I never did that much before.
So Amanda stepped in to help, a benefit for both of them.
I run in front of Lisa and tell her to hurry up.
Yeah, basically.
A bond at work that hasn't gone unnoticed by other CCRI staff.
I can tell when I look at pictures of her, when I see her dressed up for a dance, that she feels confident.
Confident enough that Amanda helped Lisa tell the story of her weight loss journey through a 4-H project. And it won first place at the state fair.
Yep, that's the before.
Do you remember how much you weighed in that picture?
200 and some, I think. Oh my gosh, I was that big before. And then now looking at me, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm really small.
Now at 150 pounds. All thanks to counting calories and steps with her cheerleader at her side.
You think you can make it?
Krista Boehm, Valley News Live.
Amanda will accept the 2016 Minnesota Direct Support Professional Award in Chicago. The Annenberg Public Policy Center says 1 in 3 people believe the United States Supreme Court rulings can be appealed. Fewer than half of Americans think a 5-4 court decision carries the same legal weight as a 9-0 vote. North Dakota's Supreme Court justices today tried to educate young people about the courts themselves and what they do. They heard a case today at Fargo South. Justice Dale Sandstrom, a Fargo South graduate, says some people understand the courts and some don't. But he says these excursions are the schools and they are very, very worthwhile.